YouTube. We are live here at Olympus. Wait a few minutes for people to show up, and I guess Kurt's probably going to yell at me to turn off that light back there, but oh well, we'll deal with it, right? So what this is, once we get some folks on here, is just a live because we're coming up on a holiday, so you're not be seeing as much of us. And on top of that, we're in the midst of breeding season. So if you have any questions about what's coming, what works, what doesn't work, hello, Olin. I am going to kill that light. It does just make things not as pretty. There, that should make it better. We're here to answer those questions. I'm here to run an idea by you guys as well on YouTube, something that you may like, you may not like. And then I want to talk about what I'm going to be doing as soon as I get off of here, which I can't stay on too long because I have an appointment at 8 p.m. Central Time to be on our Patreon. We'll be doing one of our monthly specials, which is a fun one. It's one where we don't announce what kind of snake it is till after you buy it. We'll set a price, and then we start giving information about it until somebody says sold, and then they get what it is. So, excuse me, that's how that's going to go. We don't do it like that usually. Usually we do reverse auctions and things, but sometimes it's fun to mix up, so that's what we're going to do. So I have to be off of here in probably 25 or 30 minutes at the absolute most, so I can be on time for my Patreon appointment. All right. So with that, I'm going to turn over to questions from you guys. Owen's already got one, which is good because I don't have anything to talk about, so y'all are going to need to pick me up, all right? It says, what kind of snake should I pick up next? I got a male pied pastel, Gene X, a het pied female, het ghost, cinnamon, and super pastel. Thanks. So, is a pied pastel Gene X all one, it looks like? Because if it is, I'm going to start by saying I don't know a whole lot about Gene X, so I haven't dealt with that at all, so not the best to ask. But if you have something with pastel and pied in it, if it's a visual pied, you're going to want females that are at minimum het pied. So het pied plus some genetics you like with pied. I like yellow belly with pied. You might look for a double het or another visual recessive, like maybe a visual albino het pied would be a really good snake to go with that. For your female het ghost cinnamon, again, you're going to want something from the UK. Awesome. That's good that you're with us at 1:25 a.m. Glad to have you. You're going to want something that is definitely going to produce ghost. So you're looking for more of a visual ghost male to go with that. With the super pastel, I would probably look for something, a calico spider. If you're into spider, I know some people aren't, so that is a touchy subject, but I like calico a lot with pastels. I would be looking something along the calico line or sugar line to go into that with maybe another kicker gene. I like the calico, pastels. I love the calabi. As a matter of fact, our calabi was our thumbnail for this video. So if you go like a spider calico, you're going to produce those calabis with a super pastel at a rate of about 1 in 4. So that's awesome. And then your other odds you get pastels, you get spiders, you get calabis and calico pastels. So that is what you'd get. You could not, that would be a good pairing, in my opinion. So you might look there. What you would not produce is any more spider calicos or any more super pastels. You wouldn't recreate your parents either, which is kind of cool. Whew. All right, hopefully that was a good answer for the first answer. Let's keep them rolling. Somebody says, love you, man. Dennis says this because I know you, man. And I appreciate you guys watching us so much and being on Patreon. It's a huge thing for us. And I hope the little snakes you picked up that I delivered are doing great, when we got them to you in Omaha. So for those who don't know, we did do a zoo trip for Patreon. So Erica says, I've been binging your videos lately. I'm so sorry. And my new obsession is your black pastel banana, but I'm not seeing any on Morph Market. Is there any issues with them that I am missing? Hey, what's going on, Anna? So Erica, there are no issues. I don't know why they're not on Morph Market right now. My original black pastel banana, it did pass away. But you're going to lose some snakes. It wasn't anything that I thought special with it. Honest to God, it was probably my fault for a little bit of overbreeding. Probably the only time I've ever really, truly overworked a male. That's a great question. Let me think about that one there, Jay Bruiser. But they are out there. The one I have now, so I did keep one for raising up. It has been a little bit of a slow grower, but that's okay, especially being a male. And it is a paradox is why I kept it. But I haven't seen any issues with them. So just... keep your eyes out and maybe look at making them. All right, so let me, says wonderfully, it's doing great. Name is perfect. Let me get back to Bruce, let me think about your question. Let's skip it for just a second, but I'm going to get back to it. I want to think about that one. Oliver said, what is a good snake to put with a super pastel lesser 100% het clown yellow belly? Well, obviously you're going to want something with clown in it, right? I love the pastel clown. So super pastel clown, I would want something that's got pastel and het clown to go for those killer clowns. That's where I would be. Any plans for TSK version of the Lightning Pied? Yes, long term, no short term. So I'm working on that. We're growing up a lot of pies. We'll start doing some double recessives there. It will come, but it's not going to be the next year or two. I want to be open and full disclosure on that. So any clown, yeah, I agree with what you, man. You got to get clown there, but if you can get pastel clown, go with that super pastel. So you're going to get pastel clowns and killer pastel clowns. That would be best of my book. So what would I do different? That was Jay Bruiser's question. I could start all over again. Oh man, that is a great question. So, and it's hard for me to think of just on the short term. I mean, there's probably things I would do different. Maybe not when I first started. I really liked the way I started. I liked the fact that I started small. I was working full time. I mean, obviously, if I had different finances at the time, it might have been different. But I was a single guy. Coming out of a divorce, to be honest. So like my income had been cut pretty much in half because my wife and I at the time made about the same income, and I kept most of the damn bills. So there's that. But so I wouldn't really change how I started because of that. I wish I would have had maybe a little more help early on with my first clutch. Maybe it wouldn't have turned out as bad as it did. And if anything, I probably wish, I guess if I could go back and redo it all, I would have planned better. I made some of the very common rookie mistakes. And by rookie mistakes, every new person almost makes. And that was I didn't always plan my stuff the best, right? And I also got male heavy. I would probably have planned that better, purchased more females. But there was things I wanted, and the male was cheaper, so I'd buy the male, So I wish I could go back and maybe change that. I also wish that there was just some bad care decisions I made early on. I used aspen bedding, which isn't terrible, but it's not the best, and it's not even the cheapest. Like, I wish I would have went with like with brick coconut or something instead of the aspen early on, but I didn't really like the coconut. I thought it looked kind of like dirt, but it's way better. So I wish I would have done that, things like that. I kind of wish would have just been different. But, all in all, from the early start, I mean, it's hard to go back and change a lot. Because if I changed it, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. I do wish I would have started the YouTube maybe just a tick sooner. I think our YouTube grew early on because people could identify with us more so than they can now. And what I mean by that is when I first started YouTube, you can go back and look at the first videos. There's not a lot of animals in there. So people who were wanting to get into that, I think, could watch us and see themselves in what we were doing. See themselves like, hey, this guy's kind of where I want to be soon. And, it wasn't that far. Now you look and there's a full room of racks behind me and we can pull all kinds of crazy shit. And I think it's harder to identify with that, although you're going to get there, if you stick with it. But I do wish I'd have started a little sooner with that. That's kind of probably my main things, and I'm sure I'll think of more. Let me get some of the other questions because I kind of shut it down so I could think about that without getting distracted and going squirrel, because that's an excellent question. So what is a good time to switch a male over to rats, weight-wise as well as female? Thanks. Honest to God, I try to start them on rats. So I don't, as early as possible. The minute you can get them to take a pink rat, do it. We'll start a lot on mice or hopper mice early on, but if I can get them to take a rat pink off of a tongue, that's what we go with. And then when they're 150 grams, I want them taking rats. It's just better. It's easier to switch them when they're young than when they're old. So as soon as possible would be my main answer. What would you pair with the Hidden Gene Woma Banana 100% het pied? Well, obviously, the Hidden Gene Woma, it's not really my main thing. So, but that banana het pied, you've got to get another het pied or another visual pied. I would take a visual pied to that all day long because you're going to hit those banana pieds, and those banana pieds are excellent. If I could get a black pastel pied, I might rock that because I really like the darker colors on the bananas. I think they're really cool pied. I don't know if I've ever seen one, but you definitely want a visual pied there. And if you can get that extra kicker gene that you think would go well, then it's going to be worth its weight in gold. So I would definitely go with that. And then Eric said, thank you. I was thinking of making it, but I wanted to confirm. Make it, man, make it. I don't know of anything wrong with them. And that doesn't mean I'm the dictionary of everything, but make it. And I'll tell you what, too, Eric, I'm going to do a shameless plug. You said you've been binge watching us a lot. Go check out, and don't do it today, okay? I'm going to tell you, don't do it today. Trust me on this. But like tomorrow, be the first of the month, go check out our Patreon, sign up on the $5. If you do it today, you get double charge. You get charged then, you get charged tomorrow. I'm not trying to do that. You can throw $5 down. You can join our community, and you can get a lot of answers from people more knowledgeable on some things than me, as well as a lot of extra content and some really cool community aspects with our Discord and everything else. So go check that out. If you're watching us that much, I think you'll enjoy it. So Wolfgeist has hit that thumbs up button below, y'all. Thank you. That's JoJo. For those that don't know, JoJo's been a big supporter of ours for a long time. So we got JoJo and Anna here, and those ladies, I couldn't do it without them. I literally couldn't. So I wish I started 5 years. That is a great point. I couldn't, honestly. And I don't know how many people know the story. So, like, I had a snake, and then I didn't have a snake. So I had to give away because my wife wanted to have kids, and she couldn't have kids. And then I don't want to say she's a little bonkers, but, So we split. And so I got back into snakes. So if I'd have started 5 years early, we probably would have split 3 years earlier. So it was a friend of mine by the name of Amanda. And she doesn't watch us, but I do talk to her still. And Amanda was hanging out with me one day, and I was looking at this snake in a pet shop that I now own part of. And I wouldn't do it. I was like, it's going to cost me too much money, and I don't want to spend that money. And she's like, well, what are you saving it for? Well, it's like there's nobody that you're saving for but you. Like, you get to do you now. You don't have to, like, live for somebody else. And it was like a ding moment. So honestly, and I know she didn't watch this, but if she did, she would know that. Thank you very much. I see we got a super chat. I will get to that. I just saw it show up, but I've got it where I can not miss questions, so I'll definitely call that out. Same. Hey, gang. Thank you so much for the insight. Good. And honestly, if you're that impressed and inspired, you should take the same advice I gave Eric, man. Tomorrow, if you're not on there, sign up. That community is awesome. I promise you. I don't want to sound like a shameless plug. It definitely helps us, but you're going to get more than just us out of it. It's awesome. You finally kind of live. Woohoo! So, hello, everyone. Daphne, good to see you. What's up? I just started my YouTube channel about a month ago. Any tips on how to grow my channel? Content. Don't get discouraged. Be yourself. Don't try to be Brian Barczyk, okay? That was one thing that I did when I first started. If you watch my first video, it's like, which wasn't Brian Barczyk. I mean, he's like, bah! But it was very like Bill Nye, the damn science guy. Not Bill Nye. That's not who I'm trying to think of. The guy who was on the Wonder Years. This is the Earth explode. Don't, that wasn't me. Be you. People relate to you if you're you. And that is very true. And you may say, well, you just mentioned Brian. He's all over the top. And you ever meet the dude? He's really like that. Be yourself and people relate to you. That's the best advice I can give you. What would you recommend as an alternative similar to TGR racks? There's nothing out there right now that I know about capable pythons. There are some things I'm sure will come. If I find them, I'll share them. We had another company that started up and unfortunately closed down. There's some medical scares, and that's left a bad taste on people's mouth. And we've kind of steered away from really supporting a rat company since then because we've kind of got kicked in the balls twice, So I'm trying to learn, I guess. What should I pair my Bumblebee Pastel with? Basically anything you want except for no spider. Avoid any of the spider stuff. So it's no spider, no champagne, no HDW, nothing that is going to interfere with that or cause a lethal combo with your spider, and then you should be fine. You really can't go wrong. Calico. That's what I would tell you if I was picking calico. One banana het pie, that's the plan. Boom, you got it then, Exotic. You ready to rock. Somebody says I have a 420-gram female who just stopped eating about 3 weeks ago. What can I do to get her back eating? So Oliver, go to a smaller meal. All right, smaller meal is very important. And maybe switch it up. If you're on rats, maybe go to mice, something like that. So make a quick switch, smaller meal, and you'll be surprised how often that works. If that doesn't work, go really small meal. And everybody says, don't ever leave a rat in overnight. Well, I'm going to tell you something totally different, okay? You're going to get, or what I would do is I would get a small meal, maybe like a little rat bigger than a pink, like a fuzzy, eyes still closed. It can't hurt your snake, okay? Its eyes are closed. It doesn't have the teeth. It's fine. Leave them overnight. Sometimes that privacy will get them started. Will get them back going. So that dark, private area will help. So give them some time. Wolfgeist was the one that said the $10 super chat. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And my time is your guys' time. I wouldn't be doing it without y'all. So I owe it to you, right? And Cake Fund, it's funny you mentioned that. I literally just refilled the cake for 4th of July for families. So woohoo! Erica says you got it good. There's a link in most of our videos. I don't know how to do on here. Kurt does that stuff. But do. It is awesome. You'll get to hang out with JoJo on there. So someone says, love the Discord, very helpful people. It is. I need to be on there more myself. It is great. How goes everyone? I wish I could have started 20 years ago. Yeah, and Chad, I mean, that's the thing, like that would be my one regret. Had I started 20 years ago, or had I started YouTube and YouTube was a new thing, who knows where we would be? But I also have a philosophy in life. And you guys can take this and use it, or you can throw it away and say I'm crazy. I don't like to look back. And I mean, I look back to learn from my life. But when you go, oh man, if I would have just done this, if I'd have made this decision, you start to always think, if I would have there's times I chose to not take a different job, or I didn't choose to move, or I did choose to move, or I chose to do this, or I chose to do that. And if you look back, you'll always say, well, if I would have done that differently, then my life would be X, Y, Z. But the truth is you don't know. You don't know what would have happened had you done that differently. You don't. You don't know what would have came. I mean, maybe you would have got burnt out. Who knows? So all you can do is you can learn from that. But when you make that decision, you put your foot in the ground, you have to go forward. It doesn't mean you can't change and make a different decision. But looking back at the past and lamenting of what could have been is speculation, A. And B, it ain't going to do you any good moving you forward. So I always try to look forward, not live in the past. Learn from it, but don't live in it, if that makes any sense. And then Maine Wildcat fan, awesome. K-State, right? We'll be in that state. As a matter of fact, we're going to actually get to go to the game in Dallas where they play Stanford. I'm really excited about that. So hopefully the Cats do good this year, right? So then Dennis says, but then things you did wrong, you wouldn't be as great as you are. Exactly. So you learn from your mistakes, and if I didn't make those mistakes, maybe my channel isn't doing what it is. If I didn't make those mistakes, maybe I'm not as relatable because I didn't have the hardships. I can't really relate and tell you people, man, keep going because you can't do worse than I did with your first clutch. I literally killed them all, right? You can't do worse than that. And if I can come back from that, then stay with it. And I wouldn't have that ability if I didn't make that mistake. So you're absolutely onto something. And that's part of that, always looking forward, learning from the past, but living in the present. Pace is so helpful. Good. I'm glad that's what it's for. And we're actually starting to do physical meet and greets. We're going to try to do at least one a year and try to move it around a little bit. Our first was the Omaha Zoo. We had I think 12 people there. It was awesome. I loved hanging out with everybody. We went and hung out at a little bar grill, had dinner, had a few drinks. There was some karaoke, some darts going on. Actually, karaoke didn't happen. I was a little foggy. I had a few too many drinks. We were staying right next week. Just walk back home. So anyway, really fun stuff, and we're going to do that in other parts of the country. We're looking at doing some regional stuff where people regionally can have their own tab to kind of go to shows together and do things together. We really want to bring that, as the reptile game has gone online, as it should, we want to bring that local physical aspect back together while keeping it online. That's what we're working on. We're working on some really cool shit. So join us. We'd love to have you. Super chats now, awesome. We did get the one, so thank you for the super chat. I haven't seen another one show up, but we're always taking them. So JoJo started it. Don't let her be the only one, guys. Sorry, I'm a shameless self-promoter. And I agree, Chad. Discord alone is worth it. That's the whole thing, and that's what I want it to be. I want the Discord to be worth it. So exactly. And I mean, we got people like Chris Sexton who are really good at carpet pythons. We got people who are good at all kinds of different things. And eventually I want to get spots you can go for expert advice in certain species. Like there's a lot of things. Problem is I get so many ideas. I need to stop, take one, focus, finish it, take another, focus, finish it, as opposed to having a 40 running around my head. Anna knows what I'm talking about. She deals with me all the time. Someone says, hey, good to meet you. If anyone doing any research on the spider gene, right now I have a lot of spiders in my collection. I was thinking about starting to play with the incubator temps. So, I mean, you can. I don't think the incubator temps are going to help you any. And if you did anything go cooler, don't go hotter. But I think it's just built into the gene. I do believe it is baked in. I mean, they've been around so long. But I think you can selectively breed it to make it not as bad. And if your care is on point, you're less likely to have bad ones. I think once you stress one or you overheat one, it becomes much, much worse and it may not recover. So the trick is with your spiders, don't overheat them. Don't overstress them. You see these ones that are terrible, and they always say, "Oh, I rescued the snake." Blah, 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 blah. Well, there you go. I mean, if that thing's stressed to the max, had a shit life, and you're going to cause that result. You're going to take a built-in minor problem and amplify it. Okay, it's kind of like I don't know the best way to put it. I would say, everyone wants to compare it to some kind of major mental issue, and it's really not. I mean, it's an up and down thing. I've got a ton of spider. All mine do great, eat fine, have no problem. We feed live. They're not scarred up. Most information, as you know, I think is bullshit, but that's just me. I do see the super chat came in. I will get to you as I get caught up on the comments, I promise. Thank you so much. Cutting my first 2 clutches on Monday. Woohoo! Xanthic Bumblebee Clown, and oh, that's nice clutches. That's nice clutches, Warfels. We feed frozen. Yes, and in the UK, I know you have to feed frozen. Nothing wrong with that. It's just, there's some I feed pre-killed too. Actually, one of my spiders is on pre-killed because when I got it, that's what it was eating. I think I got scared, which other things happen, and it's fine on pre-killed. So, the Brooks King finds you very great. Brooks Kings are kind of mean sometimes. Always start with mice, and a lot of people do. There's nothing wrong with that. If I can start with rats, I do, but I start probably 70% on mice or ASFs, but we move them pretty quick. So it's the thing. It's quick. And it says, you did the same. Patreon is the best perk ever for good. And that's what we want. We want to retain people. We want to grow. We want to grow that community. More sizes available. Truth. I want to know how, when you hit up Gatlinburg area again, I go there. We will definitely do that a bunch. So yeah, we will definitely do that. We do go to Gatlinburg frequently. We love it there. It's one of my wife and I's places to escape. We do enjoy sometimes when we're there. We probably will. We may do a Patreon thing there for a day, but we'll probably kind of keep that low because we do need some time. That's just hard and nice sometimes. But that doesn't mean we won't schedule a dinner or schedule a day to go out tasting with everybody who's there. That would be great. We've done that before there. We just didn't get to it last time because we were on a shorter trip than usual, so it just didn't work out. And we did some filming already, so she'll typically work one day when I'm on vacation. Carpondras are cool. I don't have any myself, but they're pretty cool. I got some of their irons in the fire. Haven't dealt with it. Welcome, Corey. And then somebody says, a Chicago dog says, dude, you inspired me to want to breed and run a reptile shop. Man, I am glad I can inspire you to do that. So that is awesome. Stick with it. It's going to be bad points and good points. Stick with it. That's the best I can tell you. Don't get overextended. Work the process. Stick with it. You're gonna be fine. You can do it. So it was Becca that gave us a super chat. Thank you, Becca. It says, I'm in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, Matt. So if y'all have time when in Dallas, maybe mini Patreon meet and greet. So here's what we're doing. We're only going to be there, like literally we're driving down, staying the night with a cousin of mine who lives in the Dallas-Fort Worth area right now. They're going to move. And then we're going to go to the game the next day and then drive home. So we won't have a whole lot of time, but I mean, we'll see what we can do. We'll hitch up. Maybe if we do go to dinner, you can meet us or something like that. I don't know what they've got planned or the exact time we'll get down there. Hey, another super chat came in. Thank you again, guys. But I will definitely touch base with you. So we'll see what we can do. And if I have snakes, you let me know and I'll bring them down. That's the other thing we do. If we're going to be in your area and I owe you snakes, we'll deliver them rather than ship them. I prefer that. Just let me know. And I got it on my computer, but I can't remember all in my head. So, Shar says Patreon really is worth it. That's good. The Discord community, again, when it all started, it was about me, right? About me and Kurt and Olympus. And then the Discord, it kind of became about the community and the group in the Discord, which is awesome because I don't need my ego to get any bigger. Okay, I'm not looking to be the star of every show. I want that community to really be what holds it together. I want it to be about the community. So that's great. And hearing that people say that the Discord is worth it tells me that's the direction we're moving in. And that makes my heart happy. So, Ball in Hand said, or Wolf Guy saying to Ball in Hand, could you imagine a Patreon thing they're doing that? Oh, going around doing the drinking, that would be awesome. So William Kern, thank you very much. He did a $4.99 super chat. Didn't put a comment on there, but if you do, I'll definitely get to it. So I'm going to be reading for about 5 or 10 more minutes before I have to get off and switch to Patreon. But and the reason I'm telling you guys don't join today, you can if you want, but just so you know what I'm talking about, if you join today, it's the last day of the month. They're going to charge you and charge you on the first of the month. And I'm not wanting to get somebody double charged. So if you're not sure, first of the month would be a great first day. Then you get that whole month for your $5 and you can see if it's worth it or not. Fair enough. I mean, you throw $5 at Starbucks coffee, so trust me, it's worth it. And then somebody said they'd make the trip to Gatlinburg. That was Chad Walton. Awesome. Present the Reed super chats. Yeah, but I didn't even know I was doing this. Some of this live shit I just do. So at least I'm sober this time, right? And somebody says, you're in Kansas. This is B. Anthony Silva. Awesome. I'm stationed at Riley. I may have to swing by. You don't even know how close to me you actually are. I hear Fort Riley blow shit up all the time from my house. Not only in Kansas, we're located in Manhattan, Kansas. We own part of Manhattan Reptile World, so definitely hit us up. That's where you can find us in OS. So yeah. We're right there, right on the side of Fort. I was actually on Fort Riley today, believe it or not, for my day job. The community on Discord is awesome, so for great knowledge. That is very true, and more knowledge than I have. So, what was your first rack system in the beginning? So my first rack I ever had was homemade. I didn't make it. I can't build shit. So I bought it at a reptile show. I went into a guy's basement. We took it apart. We moved it. We put it back together. A buddy of mine, Jeff, still has it. If you ever remember Redneck Jeff, he still uses it. Still producing clutches out of it. It's worked great. So yeah, it's pretty awesome. Somebody says, what's your view for the future of Olympus reptiles? Well, I want to fill this room. It looks full looking this way, but it doesn't looking that way. I would like to get to where I produce about 80 clutches a year and maybe make this my only job or make my day job a part-time job. So I'm going to switch day jobs in about a year and a half. So the more I grow this, the more I can do on it. And if I get it to that point where it can take over, then I can do a lot more social media content, a lot more traveling, a lot more shows. So I really want to get it to there, but I don't want to get it bigger than that. I don't want to have 5 employees or 4 employees or 2 employees. I'd like to have some dude I pay part-time when I'm gone. That's it. That's all I want. I don't want to be this huge thing. I don't want to manage people. I want to manage animals. I don't care about getting rich off of it. I care about paying my bills, having a nice, comfortable living, and that's it. That's all I want. I don't need Ferraris and Lamborghinis. I'd take them, but that's not what my goal is. So that's where I see the future of Olympus. Is just a way to, if I can do what I love and make a living, awesome. If I never make a full living, it's just a supplemental thing that probably won't get as big, but still awesome. So, that's kind of where it's. Have I ever been to Ohio? I have. I haven't spent a lot of time in Ohio. It's more of a drive through Ohio, catch a nap, and then keep on going, driving out to the East Coast in Williamsburg. I drive a lot of places. Do I have any calico available for sale? Not right now. And if you guys know, most of our sales will start on Patreon and we'll go from there. But calico this year, that girl I showed you is calico. She's about to pop eggs. I've got another one that's calico that's going to probably pop eggs. There's a lot of calico stuff coming this year, I think. So K-pop, or I always say K-pop. K-pop Pythons, KPO, says, huge shout out to you, Matt. Used your videos to help me get started in 2019. First clutch almost shut out. Pastel TSK Exanthic, Het Pi times Pied, Het TSK. Hit 2 female double visuals. Awesome for you. That is great. And that's what it's all about, y'all. So I'm glad we can inspire you. And all I would ask is this. If we have inspired you, don't be afraid to inspire others. People start getting successful. They want to shut down. They want to close ranks. Don't be inviting, bring people in. This can always grow. This whole hobby can grow. We can do that together. So keep that going. Come to Discord. I agree with that. That's awesome. Okay, so what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to read as many comments as I can for the next 5 minutes. So when this thing hits 32, I got to go. So I got to get to Patreon. I have to. I told them guys 8 o'clock. I'm going to be there 8. So 5 minutes, 32, I got to go out if it ain't on there. Now, if you hit a super chat, I will go find it and I will read that out of order so we can get those done. So if you do that, you deserve it, right? So JoJo Speaks Truth says, hello. Hi, Catnip. What are your lives generally? Thanks. This is my first one. What are my lives? Okay, now I go. I thought about my life. They are a lot of our question answers. We talked about maybe doing a little bit of live on feed nights if we could on occasion, and then people could pick an animal they want us to feed for a super chat. If you guys think that's cool, let me know, and we'll start doing something like that until YouTube tells me I'm an asshole, which they do every day anyway. So we might do something, and then sometimes they're about a topic, and sometimes they're just like this, kind of a catch up. How's the year going? Everything else. So yeah. Don't swing by tomorrow because I got to work tomorrow. You can swing by the shop tomorrow, but I won't be in the shop. But we can set up some time, especially if you get on the Patreon, it's easier to contact me, and we'll set up time for you to come by when I'm going to be around. I can actually show you. The next few days are going to be a mess. I got a whole bunch of family coming for the 4th of July. We host that holiday, so we'll be about 15 of us deep. It's going to be kind of crazy around here. But yeah, if you did, I'd love to give you a tour. Or even if you're not, I'd love to give you a tour. You're local, so but it's just easier to contact me that way. So 6 locks over a month to continue to pair, or just wait. You can continue to pair. It ain't going to hurt you to continue to pair. I've kind of stopped pairing for a lot of mine now because most things are ovulating or building or whatnot, and we don't work like humans. But you can always continue to pair. It's not going to hurt you to pair more. They're not going to get more pregnant or less pregnant because of it. So if in doubt, continue to pair. Can't hurt you. So much for YouTube. Good. That's what I want to hear. It sounds like a challenge is going to be a challenge. So the old Micro Machines guy, I don't know. Micro Machines guy is brush up on his auctioneer. Talking about this guy or I don't know. Are you talking about Kurt if you read his comments? I'm lost on that one, y'all. Dude, I think the industry will reach a point at which the majority of snake owners are also breeders, or will always be mostly people who only collect and don't breed. Damn. That's a great question, Jacob. And I honestly don't know. I think there's always going to be new people coming in and wanting to buy 1 or 2 snakes and just have 3 or 4, There's always going to be a handful of collectors, but I think it's a progression. So I think, most people, I'm just going to have a snake. Nah, I want this 3, and then they're going to start breeding. Now, how many people will breed at a level like this versus how many people just want to breed at a hobby level, maybe do 2 or 3 clutches a year, and they kind of get there and they're happy with that? I don't know. But I can tell you this, more and more people will begin to breed. That's not a bad thing. They're going to bring their friends into it, who will then start as purchasers that could kind of grow. I mean, there is not that many reptile owners or snake owners compared to how many people there are in America. So there is room for that growth. I don't think we'll oversaturate that market anytime soon, not in my lifetime. If anything, I think it's going to be a continually growing market as people get busier with side hustles and gigs. These animals don't require near as much care as cats and dogs. Well, this does, but to have 2 or 3, or maybe make one pairing to get one animal you want and sell the rest off, isn't too much. It's also can be a good little side hustle. So I don't think we're anywhere near over market saturation. But yeah, I mean, who the buyers really are, I don't know. I know most people on Patreon, most of them I think have aspirations to do some breeding. Maybe not to this level. Some want to be bigger. It just kind of depends. That's kind of where I'm judging it off of. So I do have an Instagram. You can find my Instagram. Just look up Olympus Reptiles on Instagram. It's there. And then we have, you're trying to get as many comments as possible. I think I've actually hit the bottom. I've caught up, y'all. So we are going to get them all done. When do I normally start pairing my snakes? So for me, October is kind of my month. If I have a storm in October, I chase it. If I don't, then after Halloween, the first week of November, we start pairing. And we're really hardcore on it in December, January, February, March. We can start backing off if my males aren't doing so good. Some of them are slowing down, not eating. We'll pull them from the program, and then we're still doing a little bit of pairing now, but not much. Kind of where we're at. So, Angie says, "Hey Matt, thanks for all your advice. It's helped me with starting my business off a little slow, but it started. Don't worry about being a little slow, okay, Angie? Look, this has been 8 years in the making, I think. So it takes a long time. It took me a long time. It's okay to take your time. You don't have to be huge overnight. And this isn't huge. So don't worry. Some people feel like they're behind. It's your race. You run your race, right? Run your race. Best pinstripe combo for me, I think it's hard to beat a good banana pin, honestly. So I think I've seen some super pastel exantic pins would probably be my favorite. And we're going to get into that. How did you get into keeping hots? That's a long story with my grandpa, man. And I learned from some crazy dudes. My handling teachers were some crazy, crazy dudes, crazier than most of the things you see on the channels that, we don't advocate free handling, but I learned from dudes who do that a lot, all the time. And I mean, just, and that's kind of what got me started. One thing led to another. And now, yeah, I enjoy them. I enjoy the venomous snakes a lot. So all right, guys, that seems to be it. We're at 32, almost 33, so I've got to hop off here because I've got to get the Patreon one set up. I want to say thank you guys so much for watching. For those of you who do super chats, thanks again. I really appreciate it. It helps us out more than you realize. So thank you so much, and we'll see you all next time.